And so just definitely be safe around these creeks right now. They're going to be flowing much higher than we've seen in a long time.
Thank you. Any other questions?
All of those canals and everything.
Yes, so the Salt Lake County website that I mentioned,
Yeah, I put the link in the chat on Zoom and we will post it on our website after the meeting.
So if you go to the map, it's the FEMA floodplain map, but you can also trace how those streams enter the city and see where they get piped into the system. It's a really nice map, actually, really easy to read. And then, of course, if anyone has any questions, with wanting more detail about how the system works or resources that are available, please feel free to reach out to my department, Salt Lake City Public Utilities, and also our partners at Salt Lake County Flood Control have a number to call to, as well as a website that's really good. So we want to, work with you on this and understand there's a lot of concern in the community, but a lot of media and reports on this year's runoff, and that's for good reason. There's a lot of snow to come down still.
When the situation gets worse, will the government can put the sandbag along the Jordan River?
Yeah, so part of what we're trying to do is be proactive, so we don't get in a situation where we have to, on an emergency basis, deploy sandbags to try to divert water and control the flow. But that's exactly one of the strategies we use. If we have things like we had at Wasatch Hollow, for instance, we didn't anticipate that there would be an obstruction in the flood control facility. And we were able to get out with all of our sandbags and our flood walls and divert that water away from homes, really down city streets. So that's exactly one of the strategies we would use in an emergency and have used. Thank you. Thank you. Other questions? Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, next we have the Sunday Anderson Senior Center improvements. And Jeff, do you have a PowerPoint?
I have something you can do.
Okay, I'm gonna email you a link to the Zoom and we'll just have you join the Zoom.
Okay.
It just makes it easier for you to present than sending it to me. And then you can just share from your computer. I just emailed that to you. Stu, and you can, if you just share your screen.
I'll share my screen and then I'll just.
Yeah, it'll show up here and I'll spotlight it once you join.
Recording in progress.
And it should allow you to share now.
Okay, we're just giving an update on the community engagement that we've been doing for the Sunday Anderson Senior Center. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's on 9th East, or not 9th East, 9th South and 9th West, 9th to 9th, but on the west side. And we have Olivia here as well from the Senior Center if we have any questions specifically for that. But as we've been reaching out to the community, we've been doing several different community engagement. We've been over to the Sorensen Community Center. We've also been here at the Glendale Library and been reaching out to both the Poplar Grove and the Glendale communities. So some of the things that we've heard from the community, I just want to report back about that, is that that this is a really important corner in the community at 9th West and 9th South, and that it would be really good if we could help activate that area a little bit. There's some trails there. And so you can see here that we're looking at, here, I'll point on my computer so that, Genesee Avenue is right up at the top of the screen, and we're looking at putting a trail that will connect back over to 9th South that kind of comes through the property as a response to the community's comments about wanting to kind of integrate with the trail systems that are around there. We'll also create kind of a walking loop around the property that the community can use. Another thing that we're doing is, just going to bounce back and forth a little bit here. This is the floor plan that we're developing, and right in the bottom left-hand corner, that is the corner of 9th and 9th. And so the senior center is putting a cafe in that they'll use for their food services for the seniors. It can also be an amenity for the community, that the community can come in and get a cup of coffee or purchase a meal, which is something that's different. And so we've heard a lot from the community about that. And here, when we presented here, that was something that came up as well, is there isn't a place to get coffee or whatnot here. And so it's mainly for the seniors, but then you can see the outline kind of on that corner is a patio. So the idea that there would be a patio right on 9th and 9th that would be people would from the cafe could spill out onto. That'll help activate the street there as well. One other thing I wanted to report on is that we're working with Salt Lake City Redevelopment Agency to understand and put other improvements there that may also help activate and indicate some importance to that. And then before we jump into questions, I just wanted to jump. This is just a preliminary look at what the inside of the cafe area might look like as we're working through the design. So we just wanted to give you a taste of what that might be. So I wanted to open it up to questions or comments. We always like to present, what we've heard from you, how we've integrated it, and ask you how we've done it, if you have additional comments. And again, Olivia is here if we have some specific questions for the senior center as well. Yeah.
Would there be a kitchen preparing food? What type of food would be available? Would it be snacks or coffee?
So there is a kitchen that would be preparing food. Some of the other Salt Lake County senior centers also have a similar cafe at Mill Creek, at Midvale, and at Draper. And so there's a kitchen there that's preparing meals, and there's a selection there. The seniors that come can get a subsidized meal or make a donation for a meal. But then the community, anybody from the community can come in and purchase. They usually have sandwiches, soups, and then also usually a main meal. I know when we were touring through, they had lasagna at one, they had salmon at another. So there will be meals that could be purchased by the community. It'll just be at lunch though, but the cafe itself could be open a little bit longer. We're still determining some of that.
You have to make a reservation to get a meal so that they can know how much.
Olivia, do you?
Well, I think it will kind of depend on a lot of the centers right now. just kind of run how works best for them. Some centers take reservations, some don't, some have a really good idea. They know Mill Creek, Salmon Day, they serve about 400 meals. Yeah. So I think it will be something that after the remodel and when we reopen, we'll just kind of.
So how long it will take to have 3 months and have it available?
It'll be a while. We're doing quite a lot, but it will be worth the wait, so.
Yeah, the timeline right now is we're gathering information from the community and starting the design. So you've seen some of, we've gotten into the design, but then we have to, once we get the design figured out, we have to draw up the drawings for the contractor, and then they'll bring a contractor on. And it could be a year to 18 months before it's open and ready.
So, excuse me, I think my voice is kind of shot right now, but outside of the cafe, is there like another mixed use designation that would allow the public access? Like that you're planning to incorporate with? I think last time we talked about this, I forgot where the discussion was left off, but maybe a bigger potential for some office space.
So,
in the cafe.
So, Councilmember Boyd had made some comments about this would be a great location for commercial and retail and whatnot. And I know that he has been discussing some things with the RDA, and there are some opportunities that could still evolve. And the county is open to discussing those. This is the scope of the project right now, but it could evolve into some additional things. And also some future opportunities that might allow some commercial or retail to come into that quarter somewhere. So we have been addressing those community comments that have come in and working with the city council to see what opportunities there are.
Any questions online? I don't see any. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the Dark Skies Study student presentation. And I sent you guys the Zoom link as well, if you want to join there and share, or I can share your PowerPoint, but probably easier if you just join the Zoom link and then share yourselves.
Not sure how you sent it.
Did
you send it to Daniel?
Yeah, I did.
Will you send us the Zoom link? Or
I can send it real fast.
I have the Zoom link?
we post it in the Discord?
Yes. Oh, there we are.
Yep.
Recording in progress.
Let him share. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for welcoming us back. We were here in February getting initial feedback. We're back with our results of what we're going to be talking about today. So our presentation is assessing light pollution in Salt Lake and in Glendale. My name is Emily. We'll just introduce ourselves.
I'm Seamus Gueda.
I'm Caitlin Ellsworth.
I'm Julia Gaia.
Sure, Schmidt.
I'm Samuel.
All right, so who are we? So we are University of Utah students. We are pursuing a minor in dark sky studies, which is a way to look at how light pollution affects communities and people and wildlife, and how we can prevent these negative effects. So this is our capstone class, and we've been working with communities, specifically yours, to help prevent or help give you recommendations on how to prevent light pollution.
Again, light pollution is the poor use of artificial light, especially at night. It can affect wildlife, increase pollution emissions, disrupt human sleep, obscure the stars in the sky, and waste energy and money. So we've identified some safety hazards caused by the artificial lighting in your neighborhood. Some of the issues that we found are major glare and contrast along the Jordan River Trail, inconsistent lighting in areas that are both overlit and underlit, and all of these have implications for the safety of you guys.
So for the art portion of our project, we partnered with mural artist Josh Schuerman. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to show a map of Salt Lake. So near the top, or a map of Utah, excuse me. So near the top, you have northern Utah and it goes down into southern Utah. And the basic importance of it is showing that the importance of the night sky. And the mural is on display currently at the Glendale the Wallace Stegner Academy location in Glendale. So our community partnership has gone back with the Glendale community for a while. The Dark Skies program has worked with you guys in the past, and we wanted to continue working with you guys as a community. And so a couple months ago, excuse me, we met with you guys to basically look at what locations you guys would be interested in measuring. So we took what you guys said, and then we put that into our plan. And we wanted to put in a portion of how you guys can get more involved into the light pollution scene, into the dark sky scene. So there is a International Dark Sky Association. Utah has a chapter, and right here is the website. It's utah.darksky.ngo. And there's different ways you can volunteer, and then that you can participate in community events.
So these are the locations that we measured. We got input from the Glendale Council Board to decide these locations. There was Glendale Middle School, the library that we are at currently, some of the single family homes in Night South to get an idea of what the residential area is like.
Difficult to see people up ahead of us on this side of the trail on the Fife wetlands because of this high contrast issue, where we were on this very unlit portion of the trail and the other side was like washing everything out. We also found some additional high contrast issues here on Jordan River Trail as well. It's pretty consistent along the entire thing. You might not be able to tell, but I'm actually standing right there. So right where that is, like, you have this really very brightly lit area, and then it immediately drops off into an unlit area, and so it makes it very easy to conceal obstacles or people or anyone that's coming up towards you. And then we also found poor light placements too. So actually in the Glendale Library, where there's inefficient lighting or lighting placement. So when this meeting is done, I would actually implore you, if it is dark, to actually go and take a look at this, because you can see that some spots are lit and some spots are unlit, and it just kind of doesn't make sense. Right, like things that shouldn't be lit are being lit, and some things that should be lit aren't being lit. We also have this excessive glare. So right here, we have a photo of the Chase Bank on California Ave, where there are these two bright floodlights that can wash out and create contrast issues with anyone standing there, which can obscure people. We also have it here on 9th and California Avenue too, as well, where we have this unshielded light, where light is being emitted horizontally rather than down onto the surface, which can again cause this issue of contrast. And then we also have improper direction of light too, which again goes into this idea of high contrast and high glare, where we both have light trespass, where this light from this street light, while well intended to light up the street, is going into residences, rooms, house, and lighting where it shouldn't be. I'm guessing that many of us here have experienced having light entering our houses at night, and it can disrupt our sleep cycles. We found multiple examples of this across Glendale, including here at the Glendale Middle School. You can actually see this building on the right side that's being illuminated, the sidewall of that is being illuminated by street light, even though it might not necessarily need to be, and some of that light is entering the house.
So we kind of just hit you with a lot of bad news there, but we do think that there are a lot of policies and solutions that could be implemented. So some things would be requiring city lights to have downward facing shields, encouraging the car dealerships and other businesses in your areas to have their lights on motion sensors or timers, low bollard lights for spaces meant for pedestrians and cyclists, like along the Jordan River Trail, and then dimming the luminosity of streetlights.
So we wanted to give you some recommendations to take away from this presentation, to kind of give you an idea and a sense of what can be done to help with this. As mentioned before, we have the dimmers, light shields, lighting angles, and the color and strength of the bulbs. But we also wanted to kind of show some examples of what this looks like. So these are what we call IDA, or International Dark Sky Association approved lights. So these are safer and better for dark sky preservation than like your standard city lights. So these are something to look at in like the long-term scale if lights need to be replaced. And along with this, we have these bollard lights, which are actually really quite good for pedestrian spaces, which we were hearing about earlier with the 9th and 9th Trail. These are lower to the ground, and so they illuminate the ground very well, but they don't have those glare issues that you might have that we currently have in the Jordan River Trail.
So in conclusion, we measured the lighting at 8 different locations. We did find inconsistent lighting, some overlit environments, some underlit environments, places with glare and high contrast, and some poor light placement. However, proper direction of lighting through fixtures and shielding may help negate these issues. And thank you for having us here today. We have time for questions.
Yes, we do. Yes.
I'm Representative Romero. I represent Glendale. Thank you for your presentation. Are you or Dr. Mendoza working with Turner to give these recommendations to the mayor's office and other like the administrative body of Salt Lake City corporations? Because it's nice that you've done all this work, but you're making these recommendations. Where do they go from here?
So we have a report that we created, and we are going to give that to Turner, and that kind of details all of the measurements that we took in a lot more detail than just kind of glancing over it.
Send that to me and I'll make sure.
Yes.
The administration.
Of course.
The city as well.
No problem. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. Next, we have Olivia from the Salt Lake City Council office to talk about ranked choice voting.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Give me just one moment. All right. So my name is Olivia Hodge, and I'm from the Salt Lake City Recorder's Office, and I am the Elections Management Coordinator. And a little background on me. is that before I was in this office, I was in the Lieutenant Governor's office for about 2 years. And I just want to make sure everyone can see the presentation, correct?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So let's get started then. So I'm here to talk to you today about ranked choice voting. So for the 2023 municipal election, the following seats are up for election. We have Mayor, City Council District 2, City Council District 4, as well as City Council District 6. So what is RCV? In 2018, the Utah State Legislature made RCV possible for municipal elections by passing HB 35, which is known as the Municipal Alternative Voting Methods Pilot Project. The pilot allowed cities the option to use RCV for elections between January 2019 through January 2026. 20 Utah cities have opted to participate in RCV since this passed, including Salt Lake City in the 2021 election. RCV is unique because of the counting structure it employs. If a voter's first preferred candidate is eliminated, the voter's second preferred candidate is included in the second round of votes. This counting continues until one candidate claims a majority, over 50% of votes to win the election. Ballots are printed with the candidates' names listed and have up to 10 ranking positions. Voters will rank the candidates by filling in the bubble in the appropriate column with the preferred ranking. So how does this work? So you will fill out your ballot and you will fill in one bubble per column. For example, this voter on the screen picked candidate A for their first choice, candidate B for their second choice, candidate C for their third choice, and candidate D for their fourth choice. You will rank no more than one oval in each column. Pardon me, I mean mark. You will mark only one oval per column. And if a voter chooses not to rank by preference and instead only chooses one candidate to vote for, their ballot will become exhausted after the first phase of ballot counting. So why do RCV? There are many reasons why. Ranked choice voting gives the voter a larger say in the final candidate as they are ranked and eliminated based on the overall ranking of all voters. In races with 2 or more candidates, voters can choose to rank the candidates based on preference, which stretches their vote if the preferred candidate gets eliminated. Generally, ranked choice voting saves municipalities money due to the choice to not hold a primary election. It also encourages a more civil campaign between candidates. Candidates are better served by working together and may create coalitions and talk to voters who support other candidates. Voters are supposed to look beyond their first choice candidates to their first, second, third, fourth choices, and so on. Now I'm going to play this video from Salt Lake County that kind of visualizes and breaks down how this works. All right. So for those wondering what this might change in the process, ranked choice voting will eliminate the necessity for a primary election. This puts the focus solely on the general election, which is going to be November 7th, 2023. So that won't change, that will stay the same. This also changes the declaration of candidacy period for potential candidates and moves it from the beginning of June to August 8th through 15th. Because cities elect to participate in ranked choice voting, there are some cities in Salt Lake County, as well as in other counties, that may not be participating in RCV. Therefore, these cities can still hold a primary election. This is the reason why you may know of others who have received ballots for the primary election, but you haven't. So don't worry, it's just Salt Lake City. You won't get a primary election this time around. So do we have time to open it up for questions? Can you guys hear me?
We can online.
Okay, perfect. I will message them.
Sorry, we were muted on my end. We lost.
Oh, you're just fine.
Again. There are no questions in person.
Okay, well, I thank you guys for your time. And if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to know, feel free to contact our office and we are more than happy to talk about it.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to Glendale Pickleball. Coach Aoife.
Everybody's tired of listening to this stuff here. Pickleball.
And before I get on with this, let me read to you guys this one here.
You don't speak directly into it.
All right. Dear Aoife, thank you for volunteering your time to be part of the Glendale Regional Park Advisory Committee. We are so grateful for the insight and feedback you have provided throughout this process. Thank you so much for your thoughtfulness, time, and input. We couldn't have gotten to this point without your investment. Thank you from the Salt Lake City Public Land. I've been in the community for probably the last 2 years, meeting with them, and I proposed to them to have a pickleball court and a tennis with a tennis. They said, no, we're going to put it at the Knoll Park. So I have a map for that. And then last October, the city and Glendale, they meet at Sorensen, I believe. So they text me and said, Aoife, are you coming? And I said to him, no, I'm not. I'm going to Frisco to play a tournament over there. But I'm going to send somebody over to talk about pickleball. So she went, and they didn't let her talk. It was so frustrating to me. And that's why I lost my pickleball tournament in Frisco. Like I was upset. Now, I've been working hard with the president here and also our city council, Hui. And I hope that someday soon they will allow us to, this is what we ask. We'd like to convert 4 of the tennis court into pickleballs. So if we have 4 tennis courts in pickleball into pickleball, that's 12 pickleball courts. And that pickleball court, let me tell you, Glendale community, it's going to be the best pickleball court and the most crowded pickleball in the state of Utah. I have been working hard. I requested to have the tennis court over there. And the restroom, and a lot of stuff. And now I'm fighting to have this pickleball. You all know that pickleball right now is the most popular sport, probably in the world And we need to bring that here to Glendale. The best city in the world is Glendale. I'm telling you, you know, before we had a lot of gangs here. And it caused by my son. He was the most wanted here in Glendale. Okay? And I fought hard for my son to change his life, and he did. Okay? I don't want to see any gangs around here. My goal is to bring everybody together as community. You see something we do wrong, you come, you need to do this. That's what I love. Glendale. I don't have any problem in Glendale. People are so friendly, and that's what we need. You see, I have a problem, come to my house and said, hey, you need help. And that's what I do here. And he can testify to it. At one time I call him, hey, Kitten, I need somebody to help me with this lady. She needs help. I said, well, if I'm here in New York, even though I was mad at him, but he is in New York. He's collecting money over there. And here I am doing the work with no money. Right? And that's why I love him. You know? So, okay, we need to change that tennis court into pickleball. Okay, now the city said to me, okay, we're gonna put the pickleball on the west side of the tennis court. If you go there and you see that little property over there is no way they can put 6 pickleball court in that small, maybe for the little kids. And I asked them, you guys come and see where you want to put a pickleball court. There's no way you can put 6 pickleball courts over there. Why don't you guys go ahead and convert 4 of those 8 tennis courts? You know, those 8 tennis courts, I'm telling you, I play tennis. That's my life. Okay? I go over there, there's nobody that play tennis with me. They're scared because I'm a good tennis player. You know, and I'm not. But I love to play tennis. Okay? But you can hardly find anybody to play tennis over there. Okay? Now, we have 87 adult pickleball players. We have 32 youth. They play pickleball. We have, we travel, and when we go to West Valley, South Carolina, Vermont, Bountiful, you know, when we get there, they'll look at us and go, who are those kids coming over here? And at one time, let me tell you this, at one time I lied to the Vermont people. So they look at us, where are you guys from? And I said, hey, I'm here to celebrate my birthday party. And they said, oh yeah, I get all those people, and they found out I lied to them. Isn't it wonderful? That's how you work with people. Find ways to have them come together and unite as brothers and sisters. Okay? So we like to see that 4 tennis court convert into pickleball. Okay, and I need your help. Glendale, I need your help. Because Bowie and Fitton, they are working hard on that. Okay, I ain't gonna give up. Okay, and I hope you guys don't give up on us. Make sense? Love it. So if you have any questions to me, the biggest mailbox on Concord Street toward 17 South, that is my house. Stop there and talk to me. I promise you, I'm gonna take you to McDonald's. Don't expect me to take you to Chuck-A-Rama. It's too much. Okay, McDonald's. Okay, so please help us out. Let's work together as Glendale community. Let's have fun and enjoy our community, because I'm telling you guys, this is my place right here. I live in this place for 44 years and I'm still here. I was in the community with Ronald Lee, beginning of those, whatever. You know, I just come over here because I want to help, I want to support our community, and let's work together as community, as one people. No eight, just one people, Glendale, the best in United States. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And specifically, if you want to help, the thing you can do is email Parks and Public Lands, email the mayor's office, or email our city councilman and ask them to put the pickleball courts in phase 1 of the Glendale Regional Park Plan. That's the only change that has to happen in order for pickleball courts to be built next spring. So the community council has sent a letter to the mayor, to the city council, requesting this change, and we just need support to continue to push that up there. There was a great write-up in the Salt Lake Tribune. We've been in touch with Robert Gerke at the Tribune about potentially supporting this. And then we'll also, in the upcoming issue of the Westview, Coach Aoife is working on an op-ed that we'll make sure is published in there supporting this goal. So if you want to help, that's what we need you to do, is reach out to the mayor's office, reach out to the city council member, and encourage them to put the pickleball courts in phase 1 of Glendale Regional Park. And that would mean that they would be built by next spring. Next on our agenda, oh, yeah, round of applause. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we've got 1467 South Cheyenne Street. Oh, do you want to go next? Yeah. Yes, please.
Oh, that's where I'm going. That's not for vacation. Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Angela Romero, and I am your state representative, and I haven't lived here as long as you thought, but pretty close. I've been trolling each week for a long time. And I just wanted to give you a quick update. Right now, we're not in session. We're in interim session. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm the minority leader, so I'm the House Democrat leader. So part of being that is I have to serve on certain committees. And so myself and Senator Escamilla, who's also your senator for this area, or Jennifer Plum, but Senator Escamilla and I are both minority leaders. And so we sit on the Ledge Management and Ledge Audit Committee. We had those committee meetings last week. And so within the Ledge Management Committee, and I'm going to be better about getting Turner information, we decided what we're going to study as the legislature during the interim meetings. And so one of the requests I made as the minority leader is I feel sometimes some of our presentations are very biased and lean to one particular side. So I made a request to the president and the speaker that we have balanced conversations when we're talking about energy in particular, because people in the legislature would be full. And so I think there have to be other conversations about clean energy and just renewable energies. The other thing that happened, and I'll send these to Turner, is we had an audit done on the state prison. State prison, we put about $1 billion into that. And I didn't support the move, neither the Senator Escamilla or Representative Hollinger, as representatives. We're still having issues giving medication to our prisoners, the people who are incarcerated, and they're people too. Sometimes people make mistakes, but we still have to treat people like people. And so instead of the prison giving out, the correction staff giving out medication now, it's going to move to the Department of Health and Human Services. And so they will have their nurses and working with their program to give out medication. Senator Escamilla and I still have concerns with the way our corrections administration is running our prison. And so we asked the president if we could have another audit in 18 months to kind of see where they're at and if they've made these changes. Because I serve on executive offices and law enforcement. We've been doing audits on the prison for years now, and it's just, first it was being built, second, now it's the medication. Third, as you've seen, we don't have enough staff and treatment of prisoners. So people who are incarcerated, I'm reminding myself how to change language as well. So those are some of the things we're working on. I'm heading off to Puerto Rico tomorrow, so y'all won't hear from me for about 5 days. I wish it was a pleasure. I'm the president-elect of the National Hispanic Caucus of State Legislators. So I meet with legislators from across the country and commonwealths and territories. to talk about policy and how it impacts our Latino community. And as many of you know, the biggest population within House District 25 are the Latino community, then our Pacific Islander community. And so I think it's really important that I'm part of those conversations and how we are going to make sure that we're taking care of all people within our neighborhood. So if you have any questions, Turner has my information. He can give it to you. And I'm gonna really make sure that I'm getting you information about what's coming up on agendas, because you can participate now with the legislature. If, say, you're at home and you want to take a break, you can actually Zoom into our meetings, and you can also make comments from home through Zoom if you have Zoom or have access to Zoom. So we're trying to make it more accessible to everyone in our community to be involved with the legislature and some of the interesting stuff we do up there. I just want to remind you, I fight for our communities all the time, and I might be in the minority, but I only fight for us because we have to have that voice up there.
Thank you. I will follow up with you and get all these items.
If you have any questions, Turner will get you my information and I will answer them after Monday. But we'll see
Thank you.
later.
Travel safe.
Yeah, thanks.
And just as a note, I know we've run through a ton of information tonight. After the meeting, we upload all the documents and presentations to our website. So if you go to glendaleslc.org and click on updates, that's where everything's posted. So any of the things that we've had on the screen, anything that's referenced by Friday, we'll have up on the website for you. I'm going to move on to 14. Sorry, I'm looking at my agenda. 1467 South Cheyenne Street. It's a rezone request. And I don't know who is here to present on that item. Oh, come on up. It's just an overview. So if you're here to just give if it's your project and you'll just give an overview, I'm just going to put up the materials that were sent to me by the city. And then if you just want to give an overview, I think Amanda is here representing the city and can answer questions if they come up.
Yep, I'm here if you need me.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Where? Gotta close out of. Where? Give me just 1 second. You can start and then I'll get this pulled up.
Sure, thanks. Thanks for you guys being patient. I grew up in Glendale and Pueblo Street, 1007 Pueblo Street, and had fond memories of what used to be Glendale Elementary, which is now Mountain View Elementary. And we do a lot of projects on the west side, and what we're trying to do is supply somewhat affordable housing, single family housing for people who want to live here close into the downtown, like the neighborhood Glendale and stuff. And rather than having to find housing, whatever, in South Jordan or something like that. And also opportunities for the next generation of people that might want to stay in Glendale and want to have their own house to be able to find a new house to move into. So that's kind of our focus, the projects that we do. There's a group of people that we have a couple of projects. We have one over by the fairgrounds and a couple others. We do mostly detached housing on smaller lots with community gardens. And then we separate the pedestrian traffic from the people in driveways and stuff like that. And we try to.
Is it architectural firm or even development?
We do development.
Okay.
And we try to connect to like the Jordan Parkway and all that kind of stuff, and be positive for bicycles and good for public transportation and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what we do. And someone came to us actually, and with these properties here on, actually just on the other side of the schools over here on Cheyenne Street. And they have a really deep lot. And the back lot isn't really very utilized, which frequently happens. Butts up against the school grounds. And so we've been looking at how we can rezone that so that we can put more housing in there and provide some somewhat affordable, workforce type housing for people. And that's it there, yeah. So there's we're asking for an SR3 zoning, which is meant for a little bit higher density, so the houses are in a little bit smaller lots. These are really large lots in many cases, with some of the neighbors. But over here, there's already that same density in this community over here. There's already SR3 zoning over there. So what we're asking for is that zoning to be applied to this lot, at least as a beginning. It looks as if perhaps the neighbor wants to also do something similar to that. So we'd have a few more units coming in, and the west side master plan was made fairly recently, 2014. And they talk about these things. They say there are some opportunities for incremental additions to density and minor adjustments to the development pattern to make them more efficient and sustainable. You can't probably see, but some of these back lots are literally just weeds. And this way, at least we're able to have more housing there. It says the larger lots and blocks in Glendale subdivisions may provide more flexibility for infill projects, especially the deep lots presenting conditions that provide unique development opportunities. This is all from the master plan. There are also several vacant or underutilized parcels that can be developed as infill parcels. Small lot, single family, residential infill development, both attached and detached, are options for adding new residential uses within these neighborhoods. The option is to create zoning-based incentives to encourage small lot development. Examples of special single-family developments include small lot detached single-family residential units on parcels that are currently considered too small for development and attached single-family residential units. So we feel that our application meets nearly every desired characteristics that was in the master plan, and we feel it'll be an addition to the neighborhood. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Questions from the audience? Go ahead.
My understanding that has been utilized for many years as a plot for a community supported agriculture.
There is, and it's really nice.
And they are producing food for 130 or so.
Yeah,
families
yeah.
globally.
Yeah, they are.
I'm just not sure where like the underutilized need idea.
Well, like the next 3 or 4 or 5 lots over are basically weeds, yes. And this happens to be used right now for a community garden. We will also have a community garden. It won't be as big. That at least our plan is to, we always have community gardens and all that access stuff. But if we're trying to find places where you can build homes, that's actually, we think, an ideal place. And maybe the people doing the community gardens can discuss that with the neighbors. Maybe they want to utilize the back parts of their properties rather than just letting them kind of go. Yeah.
What are some of the other properties that you developed, addresses?
Oh, gosh. Can I get back to you later on that?
Areas that you were currently working on, development currently?
We have one over by Bachman Elementary. There's this huge area right next to Bachman Elementary. We're working on that one. We have some, I think, a plan development application in on that. There is one on 250 North 9th West. There's also an infill development, also a completely unutilized land. And those are 2 that we're currently working on. In terms of what we've done in the past, there's some over on a little bit more on the east side. We've done some triplexes and a couple other things we've done before.
What is the name of your organization?
Goes under different names. Let's say City Block LLC. What's that?
That's
Yeah. Yeah, well, not the owner, that's the name of the development company. The owner of these properties came to us actually, and because he knew about the other stuff we do and said, hey, could we do something like that here? And we thought, yeah, actually, it looked like a really good idea.
Just keep going.
Describe what you need, two questions. Can you describe what you mean when you say you're incorporating community gardens? Is that a garden for the community or for the residents? And then you also mentioned that the goal is to be starting affordable.
Yeah.
Am I affordable? And is that something that is hold to like the current median income person that already lives in the town?
I don't have an exact analysis, but we're trying to provide new housing with all the advantages of new housing, solar energy, modern materials and stuff like that in a compact form that's attractive for families or something that want to be located in Glendale, would like to have a newer home. And still, you know, these are not people coming from the East Coast or from California looking for a big fancy house. These are people from the local area. There may be, like for our project over by the state fairgrounds, I think we had 3 employees of the public school system coming in. We had a number of, didn't have any firefighters, didn't have any policemen, but we're trying to get to a point where the people who live here can afford new housing if they choose to have it. Interest rates have kind of changed things, but they're going to change back at some point.
One of the, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the requests of the SR3 rezone would require that the houses maintain a similar aesthetic value to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What are your plans for sort of keeping things, I guess, on a lower level so that it doesn't turn into a 2 or 3-story compound?
Yeah, we generally do pitched roof. So it kind of blends in instead of some other block style or some of these newer architectural styles. And we try to blend in terms of color, in terms of architecture and stuff like that, so that it kind of fits in with the neighborhood. We're not one of those that likes to have these big blocky buildings or something.
Do you have renderings you can share with us today?
There's no renderings for this project yet, but we can show you renderings from the other projects, sure.
So how many homes are you gonna put on that lot?
I don't know exactly how many it's gonna be. There's an existing home there. Our policy is always to add new additional homes, not just, you know, destroy 2 homes and build 1 big one. It's the other way around. We always add more housing. I don't know whether it's going to be 3, whether it's going to be 4, whether it's going to be 5. It depends on when we get into the details of it. But the basic idea is we would like to propose that we add more homes to that area and provide people the opportunity to buy new homes in Glendale rather than having to go, you know, way out in West Jordan or something.
Go ahead.
Why would rezoning be required? Can
Does-
fit a couple there already, right?
There actually are quite a few houses on smaller lots here. They're zoned officially as R1 7,000, but in many cases, they're actually smaller than 5,000. But when zoning was done, I don't remember
In the
when
90s.
that was done, the 90s or something like that, just kind of made everything the same. So for us to be able to go to a little bit higher density, we have to use the SR3 designation. We think it's appropriate. I don't know, does anybody, what's the name of that neighborhood over there with this one over here?
It's I'm trying to think. Wasatch Commons.
Wasatch Commons.
Also, R1 zoning means you can only have 1 house on the property. So, yeah, so you, that kind of, does that answer your question?
Right.
So they have, that's a large area with SR3. I don't know if you've been over there.
Yes.
It doesn't seem terribly dense and they've got a lot of gardens, a lot of, you know,
Larger area.
a larger area. Any other
Go
questions?
ahead.
Well, it's up to the buyer, of course, but we actually usually select for single family home owners, families usually.
I know there's some other, but there's some other, agricultural production happening. I think, is there any consideration of like sun angles and some types of the structures and how that might impact pavement and production?
Well, it depends on how we lay it out, but we try to do things like that. We try to make sure the sun angles are good, so, you know, neighboring properties are not impacted and stuff like that. But a lot of that gets down to details. Where's the road going to be? How many units we're going to be able to get in there? Does it fit in right? I mean, all that stuff hasn't been done yet. What we're basically asking for right now is just the rezoning so that we can come up with that. And of course, we'd have to come to the city again anyway for the approvals, exactly for the details of.
Yeah, so I believe this is step one, and then when they go to the actual design side, they'll have to come back for a plan development request. And then at that point, you'd see renderings and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
At this time, do you have any single house, new house ready for sale?
No, we don't.
No.
We had some problems with COVID. And
How soon?
some major delays because of COVID.
How soon you will have it?
Probably within the next 12 months or so.
Public access to.
And how much the price you say affordable house? That's what.
I don't want to talk price in the planning meeting, but we're trying to keep it within. What's the average house running in Salt Lake now? It's getting up there.
About 400,000 here in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so I don't know if we can do quite for 400 because it's a new house. And COVID drove up the production costs quite a bit too. But we'll try to keep it as low as we possibly can. That's basically one of the things we do.
Are you doing rent to own, lease to own, or is this a?
The financing depends on what the buyer is able to arrange. We do, I don't know if we're officially allowed to say that, but we kind of prefer people that are from the neighborhood over people that are coming from outside. We tend to prefer people that really kind of can't afford maybe a bigger place over people that are just saying, hey, I got lots of money and I'm just going to come in and move there and I'll leave in 2 years or something like that. We're kind of, we actually kind of have a little bit of a community mindset to it. I mean, probably not very often the developer's going to say that, but we kind of do.
Thank you. Any last questions?
The access to the back lots, before the new roads built.
In this particular case, right now, anyway, the way it is, and I don't know if you can make
I'll
any
zoom it up. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. There's a pretty wide driveway here that was put in this. This home was added some years ago, and they put a really nice big driveway in there so that we probably won't have too much problem finding, you know, adequate access for those people.
All right.
Like I said, we don't have the details yet, but we'll be coming back and show you those details as we get to the next steps.
Thank you. I'm going to move on to our next agenda item. We will post all of these documents on the website so you can access them, and that includes contact information if you want to reach out. All right, next on our agenda, we have 1624 South, 1000 West. This is another development proposal.
So I was trying to send an email. I'm not able to do that.
Can I just email you the Zoom link? And if you join, you can just share from your computer. All right, I just sent you that Zoom link. You'll be able to just join and then you can share your screen from there.
Okay. So what I will be presenting today is what is phase 2 of the Samoan Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's on a piece of property that sat vacant for a while. They were able to complete phase 1 successfully. And the reports I have heard is it's very successful. It has displaced some of the bad element that was visiting the site. It's a very nice church, and they're excited to get the phase 2. The location is that 1624 South, 1000 West, within the red box there. It's an RMF 35 zone. It's residential. Thus, we need to come in for or apply for a conditional use permit in order to build here. We were able to get the conditional use permit for phase 1. We always planned to do phase 2. It will complete the project.
And just so everyone's clear, RMF means residential multifamily.
Yes.
And then the number afterward refers to the height of the building. So RMF 35, residential multifamily 35 feet tall, just FYI.
Yeah, thank you. This is the actual site that's outlined in red. And you can see the new parking lot and the new building that is currently there, that is phase 1. This is prior to all the landscaping going in. It's all landscaped and everything now, and they're functioning in that back half of the building, which currently is made up of a gymnasium, a food serving area, 2 small classrooms, men and women's bathroom, and that's it right now. So they're excited to get the rest of it, which will add on the sanctuary portion of it. And it's not changing. Oh, there it went. It's just behind, so it's gonna change a couple of times again here. So I just need to be patient for a second.
We're back. Sorry, the internet went down again. As we're back up, let me drag this over to my screen and see if I can troubleshoot. Sorry, everybody.
Not your fault. Herman.
Okay, stop sharing and try one more time. I don't know what is. You know what is happening? We will make sure we post these online after the fact.
How would you like me to proceed?
If you just want to verbally describe it, we'll make sure we put all this up on the website so you can go access these renderings online. Oh, there we go.
It's sharing that. But hopefully it will. Let's see if it. Well, while that's up there, that was the. Back to our slides here and see if we can. There we go. So in the dark footprint right there, that's the existing phase one. And the area out in the front on the right is a big lawn area right now. And phase two transitions into adding the sanctuary, which is now the dark footprint. And there are a couple of slight adjustments to the parking lot to add a couple more parking stalls to that so that we can meet the, we were basically at the maximum parking with the other one, and this one we were at the, let's see, how was it? We're at the maximum and now we're gonna go, I think, to the minimum parking. Yeah. What's going to come up here next is a rendering of the phase two that shows the sanctuary on there. That really completes this design. It was originally designed as a whole building, and we needed to break it into the two phases to actually make it happen. So the curved element is the sanctuary. The other thing that we're adding is a second level that kind of wraps around the existing gymnasium. It sits above the main entry there. Up on that second level, there's and we'll see a floor plan in a minute. There's visiting pastor apartment that most of the time will sit vacant, but it will allow them to come and visit and have a place to stay there. And this coming up here is the level one floor plan. You can see the sanctuary with the seating in there, which is added. The very back side of that backs up to the existing building. We are adding a stair and an elevator and kind of an entry waiting area to the level one, as well as the sanctuary.
Who's we, what's the firm that's designing this?
Architectural Nexus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Gardner with Architectural Nexus. I'm representing the SysAC is what we call it. So, okay, so this is level two. You're looking down on the sanctuary there, so that's all one big volume. But the darker areas in the floor plan show a new addition between the gymnasium and the sanctuary that has a couple of offices and bathrooms. You can see in the upper left-hand corner is the visiting pastor apartment. And then there's a conference room in the upper right-hand corner. And that is the project. Are there any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. All right, we have a small amount of council business to do tonight. So we currently, the Glendale Neighborhood Council has 3 empty board positions. Scott Horton, who was on our board last year, reached out and expressed interest in rejoining the board. And then we have 2 other empty board seats. We're also going to have a 3rd board seat open up in August. One of our board members was accepted to a doctoral program at the university and will be stepping down later this summer. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us. We would love to have you on our board. Scott, I'm going to have you come up and just kind of introduce yourself. Since this is not a normal election, we're going to do this by acclamation. And then if anyone else is interested, if you would reach out between this meeting and the next meeting, we can put that on the agenda. But we are looking for 2 more board members. So Scott.
Hi, everybody. Scott Warden. I've lived in Glendale for 15 years now. Besides that, I grew up on the west side out in Kearns area. Hobbies are I golf a lot, and fish a lot. So I just like being part of the community council, guys. So thank you.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, we're going to do. Thank you. As I mentioned, we're going to do this by acclamation. So what that means is I'm going to make a motion that we accept Scott as a new board member. We're going to then need a second, which.
I second.
And then show of hands for everyone who supports the motion. So if you'd raise your hand in support of the motion. Thank you, Scott. Welcome to the board. If you are interested in joining the board at the next meeting in a similarly awkward process, please reach out to me. Our bylaws require that we put you on the agenda for the next meeting. So we can't take nominations tonight, but at our next meeting we can. So please reach out if you're interested between now and then. With that, we're going to move on to community updates, and we'll start with Neighborhood House. And I'm going to fight Zoom and try to pull up your PowerPoint thing. Give me 1 second. You can talk and I will pull it up.
Well, my name is Jake Harrison and I work as the Community Engagement Coordinator at Neighborhood House. We have a variety of opportunities for volunteerism. Our center provides daycare services to adults suffering from some kind of cognitive decline, traumatic brain injury, etc. And we also serve children in the community as well, with about 350 clients in house on any given day. In addition to being able to volunteer with our clients of children and adults, we also have volunteer opportunities at the food pantry. And then we have regular opportunities to engage with the community as well. So on May 18th, we have Reading with a Buddy. That's a client-oriented event, but we do welcome volunteers. We have a June 16th summer celebration, and that's open to the entire community, and we'd love to see you all there. We also welcome partners at these community events, so if you're interested in playing pickleball at the event potentially, we would love to set up a court for that. If you're interested in tabling at our different events, we'd also welcome you there. So there's a large number of opportunities to table or engage in some sort of partnership with us, and our primary is to provide programming for our clients and building the furthest around community as well. So
Exciting stuff going on. On April 29th, we are having an event at the Three Creeks Confluence called Art at the Confluence. So this is the 2nd year that we've done this. Landon has been helping me plan it. Thank you so much. So it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, April 29th. And we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on. We'll have performances. We'll have live artists doing live painting. We'll have interactive playmaking, and what am I missing?
Face painting.
Face painting, yeah, it'll be fun. It really started as a way to celebrate the creativity of Glendale. And that is the main focus. We have kind of expanded a little bit to more of the west side, but it really is a celebration of Glendale. So that's one thing that's happening. Another, actually, I brought the pictures of the street mural. We are another one of our board members, Kelly Goupil, is an artist, and she is doing a series of 3 street murals in Glendale. One of them is going to be on 800 West, which is a neighborhood road. Another one's going to be next to Parkview Elementary, and then another one by the Dual Immersion Academy. So these are going to be beautiful street murals that she's designed. In part just to beautify the neighborhood, but also as traffic mitigation, just to help to slow people down, since we have a big speeding issue in this neighborhood. And then the last thing that we're working on is, if you've been on the Jordan River Trail, which you probably have, you'll see some large kind of wooden signs that have art in them on both sides. Within Glendale, along the Jordan River Trail, there are 4 of them. And so we are commissioning an artist to redo that art that was created many years ago, just to update it. So those are the art projects that we have going on this year, and we'll have more next year. But for now, the event happening at Three Creeks Confluence is free, family friendly. It'll be a great time. And I have some flyers that I'll put at the table. You can pick one up as you leave the room. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's see. A couple of other updates from the Community Council. The Glendale Transportation Committee has been working on an active transportation plan. We will be presenting that at the June meeting. My Zoom screen has just completely disappeared. It is in the ether somewhere. So we will be presenting our active transportation plan, basically identifying upgrades to infrastructure that will make our streets safer and reduce the risk of car accidents and that type of thing. Our Keep Glendale Beautiful Committee has garbage cleanup kits. We also organize a monthly cleanup. Our next monthly cleanup is this Saturday at Jordan Park. It's going to be a massive cleanup, basically doing the entire length of the Jordan River from 21st South to Alzheimer's Park, which is at about 4th South, 2nd South. So get involved in that. If you are interested in a cleanup kit, they include a grabber, gloves, bag liners, reusable bags, and a luggage scale, so you can measure all the garbage that you clean up or weigh all the garbage that you clean up. If you're interested in one, we have 15 here tonight. We'll send one home with you. If you have more people in your household or want more than one, we have a form on our website that we'd ask you to complete, and then we'll just drop them off for you. 15 was all that would fit in my little bike trailer on my way over. So, but feel free to grab one. We got a grant to be able to give these away. So we just ask that you sign in so we can keep track of how many we've given away. But otherwise they're nice because they fold up and they're easy.
Can anybody hear me?
Hey, Detective Oliver. I can hear you. I don't know if they can hear us.